Now, is that, Dennis, just on program cost, or is that also on transportation? Or is it combined,
That all goes into the mix.
all of it?
Yeah. So each of them are separate. But again, there's other ways to do it. Some of them were put in private placements, even though they may cost more, we receive much more aid. So even though it could cost $100,000 to put in a private placement versus, say, 50 in BOCES, we may need to meet the threshold in BOCES and get the aid on the other portion where it's a high cost, you receive it right from zero. So I mean, there's a lot of, again, you're looking for what's best for the kids, and some of the, it's a juggling act.
And I know we presented you with pages of questions, and I mean, I'm real interested. I started doing a little research on my own, trying to find, there's a lot of independent, some are national organizations that have wonderful nursery school programs that might be interested in renting space from us. You know, can we do that? What do we have to do? Do we have to cordon them off from the rest? I don't know.
Yeah. You'd have to segregate the buildings. You couldn't have, I mean, if it's more of an educational nature, it's not as problematic. But if it's more of a business nature or something of that nature.
But when we say like segregate, are we talking like in the old days when we had those metal gates that went back and forth, or do you have to have?
I would have to find out what that segregation actually is. I mean, if you're going to have it as a primary learning center,
It would be like 2, 3, and 4-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple I looked at. But it's strictly a learning center, basically a nursery school.
I mean, there are a lot of possibilities, and I think the board's desire is to, if whatever building is impacted, is to try to generate as much aid from outside agencies or from BOCES or other things to keep it a viable institution, an educational learning center to continue on with it. So again, our job would be to solicit and contact healthcare providers, and OT, PT, speech, and colleges and other educational institutions to see if we could apportion a part of that building to generate aid and revenue.
I'm like you, Rhonda. I can't see the hurry. We didn't get this way overnight. We've been in this a mess. And why is it such a hurry thing?
We've got to make sure we make the right decisions and that there's some money to be saved here and that we don't just put our nose to better face. And, I just keep focusing on if we're really looking for something to be more rentable. To me, who would be the space at the middle school? I mean, I think of things like, I know a couple of people right now that are going for water therapy, aqua therapy. There's 2 places, I am told, in this entire, I think, 2-county area where they can go for water therapy. That middle school pool is beautiful. It's set up beautifully for handicap access. We have both the ramp and the lift chair.
But looking at that consideration, let's say, following up on your thoughts there, if the middle school was the school that was just a portion of an educational center for the district,
right,
then what grade level could go there? Still problematic. It's still problematic for the kindergarten because of the bathroom. So now you're looking at the area between, would it be 5 and 6? And
that's where we need some time, I think, to do some exploring. Now, the other question that I have for you, and I don't know if the facility committee is quite proper, but I mean, every time we're measured, we're elementary, middle, and high. What happens when those, well, the buildings don't exist, but you've got half your middle school kids here and half your middle school kids here? How does that really come together? Is it based only on test scores? Does it have nothing to do with the...
Well, in that configuration, you would have a junior, senior high school, and you would have a elementary school. There could be some subtle requirement differences. I think I shared with the full board about some of the phys ed waivers and variances that you can get if you have a middle school configuration. I would have to speak with SED regarding the testing, and the testing would stay the same. But again, on our report card, instead of having a middle school, high school, and elementary, we would have a junior, senior high school, and we would have an elementary school as far as the results of the testing. And the 3, 4, 5, 6 would be in one building, and the 7, 8, and above would be in another building.
Is there anybody out there locally that has a junior, senior high? I can't think of one in all the statistics I've looked at.
Frankly, though, we had a elementary, and a junior, and a junior.
Or down to.
without the middle component.
But they have, their younger grades are broken up. They have a primary, which is K-1. And they have an elementary school, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, no, I'm sorry, yeah, and then the 7 through 12 high school. At the high school, you know, whatever you want to call it, junior, senior high school, they built a wing on for the subcommittee.
Both Eden and Northtown?
Yeah.
Now, do you know that because of your association with these principals, or is there some document somewhere that lays this
No,
out?
I know that because of my association with principals.
Okay.
Did they
I know
ever
that
have
was
a middle
EJSB
school?
demographics, and there's
Did
nothing
they
in
ever
there.
have a middle school in either one of those places?
Um,
Back?
I think Eaton did, but when they built that new high school, they built it with a 7th and 8th grade wing. And I think that front building at one time was a high school, then it was a middle school, and then when they eventually built the big new high school, they had, I'm not positive, I'm pretty sure.
And I've also shared with the board that, you know, this is not an issue that's just, you know, particular to Holland. In Southern Cayuga, they went through the same, and they closed the building. I think Lakeshore, I think they closed a couple elementary schools, but they were.
They have multiple
Right,
buildings.
right. When I spoke with Brent Price today, he shared with me that in the Finger Lakes area, there's 3 school districts. They're working with the Western New York Educational Service Council, and the reason they're working with them is because they're looking at reconfiguration and possibly, well, I know the 3 districts, that decreasing enrollment, they need to do something. And when you, Brent is
And we've
working
known
on
it's
studies.
coming, it's just
Yeah.
unfortunate that it had to be quite so expedited. But,
But, you know, this is where we are. I think we've had a very good conversation. We've shared all the information that we have. Architects will get back with us. I'm looking at the 12th as a date, 5 to 6:30 for the audit, 7 plus for the facilities. And then we're looking at the 27th of October, whatever. I'm not going to say it's a recommendation, but any presentation with the architect to the full board.
because I'm hoping that he's gonna come in here with more than one scenario, correct?
Oh, yes, he will come in with several. And then from that scenario, if you don't like what he has, or you have different options, all right, now you need to tweak this a little bit, and go here and do this, and things like that.
On that note,
So I'll get back with everyone on the placements for special ed students in case we had to downsize to the BOCES classroom, and the cost, the anticipated projected cost with either building. I mean, one building would be a little bit different because of the operational costs as far as the energy and things like that. The personnel cost would be approximately the same. Because it isn't by building, it's by seniority list and civil
Right.
service.
okay.
Anything else you'd like me to research?
I think there's something more.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.